Hi, I'm Cheryl Leach. In this problem, we're asked to find a function whose derivative is minus 3x squared times the quantity 2 minus x cubed to the fourth that also passes through the point 0, 7. Well, to begin with, how do we find a function when we're given the derivative? Well, that's the reverse process of differentiation. So in other words, we need to integrate. So my function is going to be the integral of my derivative. And I know the equation for my derivative, so let's substitute that in. I'm going to have minus 3x squared times the quantity 2 minus x cubed to the fourth dx. Now this is a fairly complicated integrand, so I think I'm going to do a substitution to help me evaluate it. So when I look at this problem, I notice there's a piece that's a composition function. It's the 2 minus x cubed raised to the fourth power. And the inside function is the 2 minus x cubed. So that's what I'll use for my u. So u is going to be 2 minus x cubed, which means that du dx will be a minus 3x squared. Now this helps me out because I can now write this piece as u to the fourth power. But I'm still going to have x's floating around inside my integral. So I can't integrate with u's and x's. So somehow I have to figure out how to relate du and dx. Well, if I come back to my substitution, I notice that du is going to be minus 3x squared dx. And if I look at my integral, I have a minus 3x squared and a dx. They're not written together, but remember, multiplication is commutative, so I can rearrange the order if I like. So I can write this as the integral of 2 minus x cubed to the fourth times a minus 3x squared dx. And now I have my u to the fourth and my du. So I can write this as the integral of u to the fourth du. Now integration's easy. I have u to the fifth all over 5 plus a constant. Well, integration is done, so there's one last thing I need to do, and that is to get my x's back. So I can write this as 2 minus x cubed to the fifth power all over 5 plus my constant. Well, I almost have my function. I just don't know what that constant of integration is. Well, let's take a look at the ordered pair that I know my function needs to go through. It needs to be equal to 7 when the x value is 0. So in other words, this is the same thing as saying f of 0 equals 7. And I can use that fact to find that constant of integration. So f of 0 is going to be 2 minus 0 cubed to the fifth power all over 5 plus my constant of integration, and I know that that equals 7. So when I evaluate this piece, I'm going to have 2 to the fifth power, that's 32, all over 5, plus a constant equals 7. Well, because that denominator is 5, let's write 7 as 35 over 5. This makes it easier to solve for c. c then will be 3/5. So now I can put it all together and say that my function is the quantity 2 minus x cubed to the fifth power all over 5 plus my constant of integration, 3/5. I hope that helps. Thanks.